Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson. I'm here with another recreation report. We've got a lot of activity going on here at the recreation department. Fall is always our busiest time of the year. Most folks think that it's the spring, but in the fall it's kind of a collision of all of our athletic sports are going on. We have our baseball and softball program and soccer programs, which all have 2 seasons. This is the fall season for the baseball and softball, which started on the 23rd of August. So we're in probably our second week of the season. You know, the weather's great right now around 6 o'clock. It's a little on the warm side some nights, but weather's good, and we play all the way through our fall break, which is around the mid-October, which is again one of the best weeks that we have here in Walton County. It doesn't rain a whole lot, and the weather's fairly dry, and it's not too hot. It's a great time to play sports. Our football program also starts on September 11th. We'll do our annual jamboree, where every team will get to play 2 different teams a half apiece. So all the teams will play on September 11th at all of our parks here in Walton County. Newton County also joined our league this year, so we have a huge football program with a lot of teams. We changed the way we run our football program and cheerleading program. What we have always heard is teams want to play for where they're going to go to high school. So in our football program alone, people register with their elementary school that they go to or their middle school, which all trickle into a particular high school. So here we have 4 different teams. We have our social circle teams that are all Redskins, and then we assign a color to them. We have our Hurricanes, we have our Warriors, and we have our Red Devils. George Walton also has a team in our league, and then all the Newton County teams. So we have a lot of Red Devils and Hurricanes and all different colors, about 50 teams all together in our football program. They get to wear their shirts, and they all say Hurricanes across. They can go to their Friday night games, and the high school coaches love it as well, because now they get to see those 3 and 4 different teams that we do drafts with, but they're all Hurricanes, and it just develops into somewhat of a pride thing for them when they get to high school. So we're hoping that's really going to help. I know it's in the second year of doing this, our football programs grew by more than 1 team in every age group. So it is bringing some kids back. We always found that it was kind of unique that a middle school can have a tryout in the 13 and 14 type age group when they're 6th and 7th and 8th graders, and 60, 70 kids would come out, and then when we hold registration for that same type program, we may not get that many. And there's a reason. The teams want to play for their school, wear that jersey. So we drove that into our program as well, and it's turning out that it's correct. So teams want to play for even though in the 6th or 7th grade they might not be a starter on their middle school team, where they can come and play and get a little bit more experience. They'll still get to play for what we call the Hurricanes or the Red Devils or the Warriors, and it seems to be working. So our football program is back and growing and doing well. We actually had to go and search for another 100 football helmets. As you know, the supply chain in all aspects is tough, but it's also hitting the recreation world, where there's not a football helmet to be found. We were one of the lucky ones. We got on it early and were able to find those 100 helmets and get it to our teams. Even though we were about a week or 2 late for some of the teams, we were able to give them all the equipment that they needed. It even goes down to the field paint. We really struggled even finding, we go through about 100 gallons of 105-gallon buckets of paint just for our soccer and football fields a year. And there was hardly any to be found, and we searched around and finally came up with around 55-gallon buckets, so we're good for a while. So, the supply chain for everything is tough these days, and, we're not set apart from that either. So, but we're doing very well. Our soccer programs grew as well from around 300 last year to over 500 kids in our soccer program. They've already started as well. They started on the 23rd. They'll run through mid-October. And then our cross-country team is now on weekends going and participating. So we have all of those activities. Over 2,000 kids participating in all of our programs, and we'll push all those through the fall. So far we've been really fortunate to not and having very isolated incidences with COVID. So we've got a lot of protocols in place when somebody tests positive that we have to sit out so many days, and for the most part everybody's reporting that to us, and everything's going very well for us right now. So we hope we can make it through our fall season. With that being said, anytime we start a program, we have to look forward to our next program, which means our basketball registration is coming up. We'll be registering September 13th through the 18th for our recreation department basketball, ages 5 through 18, boys and girls, ages 5 through 18 as of January 1st. How old you will be on January 1st is the age group you'll play in. We do that. Most of the registration is online. So you can walk in, but you can go to waltoncountyga.gov and register. Cost is $85 per participant. And again, get registered early, because September 13th through the 18th, it will fill up. Last year, we ended up with around 700 kids. We normally end up with around 1,000. We were right at the tail end of the worst part of the COVID last year, so we're anticipating that our numbers will even go higher than 1,000 this year. Hopefully we'll have that extra gym down in Social Circle. It's scheduled to be finished somewhere around the end of January, so we've got that. Hopefully we'll add that to our 5 gyms that we currently have that we play out of. So make sure you get registered for that. We register from 9 to 5 if you do want to come in the office, or you can register online. Which is probably the preferred method to take care of that. You create a profile, and all that information is on our website at waltoncountyga.gov. I'll hold the flyer up at the end of this segment. We also have our community centers are open. We have a lot of people that are coming in and exercising. We have our senior aerobics classes that are back and going very well. We're averaging at least 80 a day at our senior aerobics classes. Jane Bico and Valerie Ermetz are still going at it with the senior aerobics classes, so they're doing. Seniors have come back and are healthy and staying healthy through the exercise. So that is fantastic. Our splash pad, splash park at Ayers Park down in between is winding up our first season, and what a great season it was. Over 15,000 people came through on a daily attendance to the splash pad, so it was a very, very well attended. We're finishing up some of the walking track on the back side of that, and we're finishing up the Frisbee golf course. We have the dog park there. We are in the process, hopefully within the next couple weeks. We've been kind of slow about getting it done. It's been tough to get a bid in that we can accept on the pickleball courts, but we think we'll have those done. Should be in the very, very near future. So again, a lot of activity going on. The splash pad will close on September 25th. Right now we're what's called in the non-peak hours. We're only open from 4 to 6 Tuesday through Friday, and then from 10 to 6 on Saturday and 1 to 6 on Sunday. Then we have private rentals from 6:30 to 8:30 if you're interested in that. Weather has kind of been iffy, with those 6 o'clock rain showers coming in. So, again, if it looks nice outside, we're open. If it's raining or thunder and lightning, then obviously we're closed. So just give us a chance. You have to drive by there. We try to put it on our website or our Facebook page as quickly, but you know how fast these pop-up storms come up. So we do our best to notify you that so you don't have to drive out. But again, a lot of activities going on. Make sure you register for basketball. If you're a senior and you want to get out to exercise, it's a great place to go to our senior aerobics classes, our Parkinson's classes, or any other classes for that matter. We have a lot of aerobics dance classes that are on our website. So come see us at the Recreation Department. Come by the community centers. A lot of things going on. And as always, remember, sportsmanship starts at home, and we'll see you at the park.
Monroe Country Day School's mission is to inspire every student to have a passion for academic and personal excellence through creative learning, independent thinking, and selfless service to others. Students are exposed to the local community and provided opportunities for independent thinking.
What will you do with all the dirt?
Some of the dirt you see has been hauled over here because they're going to have to build the finished floor, the elevation of the building, so that it's got to have the right kind of soil that will compact and tighten up for the footings of the building.
Monroe Country Day School values the whole child. Therefore, we believe in a holistic and integrated approach that involves the development of the student academically, personally, and socially. Monroe Country Day School believes that creative learning produces independent thinking and fosters a love of learning. Excellence is applied to all that we do. We strive to foster students that are pursuing strong academic and personal excellence. Project-based education is integrated into our curriculum.
When we go back in the classroom, we need the combined weight of you guys because we've got to figure our bridge, our mass bridge weight ratio, okay? You got to figure out how much weight it was that finally broke your bridge, okay?
We need a scale for that.
And then on Monday, we're going to redesign. We figured out where some of our flaws are. We're going to spend another week redesigning, all right?
Monroe Country Day School offers personalized education that begins with the personal knowledge of each student academically and each student's personal story. We believe that taking personal responsibilities for one's academic and personal choices produces strong, independent, capable, and confident citizens. Students are taught responsibility for self, peers, and community. Through service to one's peers and community, an equipped leader finds personal growth and fulfillment. We facilitate this leadership through providing experiences of service. Respect is the basis for good dialogue, independent thinking, and mutual enjoyment of life lived in community. Monroe Country Day School is designed for families who see the value of educating the whole child. Monroe Country Day School will reach its mission by maintaining small class sizes, offering project-based learning and a high-level curriculum, and by providing service opportunities in an aesthetically pleasing environment. Monroe Country Day School has positioned itself to produce a community of young people who are strong in mind and character and living as contributing members in their community. For more information, please contact Mandy Wellington, Admissions Director, at 770-267-8955.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. We have lots going on in September. Usually we have kind of one special day that we call our Saturday soiree. This month we actually have two fun Saturdays planned. The first one is September 11th, which is the anniversary of 911, of course. And it's a day of remembrance and service. We are going to carry on here and have our Saturday soiree with 3 workshops. We'll have a pottery workshop, a watercolor workshop, I believe, as far as I know, at this time. And then also Julie will be here with her thousands of beads. For our workshops, if you're a first responder or military family, you'll get 50% off of our workshops held on that day. And it's a small thank you for your service, but that's one of the things that we're going to do that day. The other thing we're doing that day is kind of our day of service, is we have one of our artists here, Dawn Smith. She's a stained glass artist, very, very talented. She has a passion for the feral cats in our community, and she's locally very, very, very well known for her TNR program, which is trap, neuter, and release. And so she has, which is the only way to take care of a growing population of cats. You trap them humanely, they become neutered, and then if you notice a cat that's a feral cat that has a tipped ear, that means a little corner of their ear is snipped off, that means that they're part of this program. So they get some basic shots, rabies shots, and then they get either neutered or spayed. And then they're put back into their colony, but at least they can't reproduce. And it's a humane way of handling what can become a really, really big problem. So she is going to be here on September 11th from 3 to 5. She and a local veterinarian, Norm Reese, will be here as well, and they will be building and helping you to build feral cat shelters for the colonies that Dawn takes care of, or you may know of some feral cat colonies. You can connect with Dawn and get her help. She's always, of course, seeking funds to have the care done for the cats that she takes care of. But we'll have more information. I think we're going to ask people, if they can, to bring a couple of small supplies. Shouldn't cost more than $10 or so. But we'll have a lot of the supplies here to make the shelters, and we'll be demonstrating that as well. And you can have a hands-on experience of making a shelter as well. So that's on Saturday the 11th. We'll have the workshops kind of going on all day, and Dawn will be here from 3 to 5. On September 18th, it's Pirate Day, and that's one of our downtown Monroe events. So all over downtown Monroe, various businesses will have specials and fun things going on. Here at the Arts Center, we're going to have already have it, I should have brought it, a treasure map. So you'll follow the clues on the back of the map that will lead you to various stores in downtown Monroe. They will have a special pirate stamp to stamp the map with. You'll bring the map back to us, and you'll get entered to win a treasure chest of probably over $50, $60 worth of art supplies. So it's going to be a fun day. We'll also have, let's see, a painting going on for kids, a pirate painting. I'm not sure, she'll do something like a pirate ship or a parrot or something. I'm not sure what her painting will be yet, but Carly will be here. That will be $10 to make, to do, and it's a kid's project, obviously, to do the pirate painting. And then Nancy will be here with a free activity, as long as supplies last, to make those beaded, dangly, I don't know, Jack Sparrow things, whatever they're called, that pirates have in their hair. So a hair clip with beads and feathers and ribbons, and kids will pick out their own colors and put that together, and that will be a free activity for as long as we have the supplies. I think she's got at least enough to make around 100 of those. So, and I think Julie will be here with her beads as well, so that's on the 18th. And then there'll be other things going on downtown as well. I'm not sure exactly what. I think on stage we'll be at the farmers market that Saturday doing pirate stories, maybe some pirate crafts, and I'm not sure what else they'll have going on, but look out for on stage when you go to the market on the 18th. So those are two fun things going on in September. Another new thing I want to let you know about is a journaling series that we have starting up. We have kind of the introductory class is on the 18th, and it's creative bullet journaling. It's a way to organize your life. It's not just an appointment kind of calendar. It's a way to remember. It's kind of a combination of scrapbooking, but without all the hoopla that scrapbooking can entail, plus journaling. So that starts on September 18th. Ann Mann is a new teacher with us. She has a whole series of classes planned out through the rest of the year. So go online, MonroeWaltonArts.org, to see those classes, come by and pick up a class list, and we'll see you soon.
Woo! This show's getting hot in Walton County. If that's you right now, you may need to come to our splash park. In between Georgia, we've got water that's flying everywhere. It's going down and getting recirculated and coming back. And even if you're not in the water and you're bringing a child that's wanting to run around, sometimes if you just get downwind, you'll get some of the mist on you. So it's a great place to go. Let your kids have fun, cool off, and it's very, very affordable. We're doing it for $3 per kid. You can come out. We've got some folks that are there supervising. As long as you're 16 and up, you can bring a child and supervise them. It's a great place to have some good entertainment during the day. We're open from 4 to 6 most nights when school is in. We're open from 10 to 6 when school is out for the entire summer. The only day we're closed is on Monday. On Saturdays 10 to 6, on Sundays 1 to 5. So I hope to see you at the Splash Park, and remember, it's a great place to get out of the heat.
Yes, thank you so much. When Jocelyn asked Terry and I, and of course I joke and say I don't, it's not a joke. I don't know what it is when I start talking in front of people, I'm like, I can talk all day long. Something about when I just have to get in front of a group, and it's that thing right there, that camera. But anyway, so Terry's like, you got this, and I'm like, I sure can. So we were just talking, I was asking her, the different things. Most of you know, so I'm with the chamber, I'm over the membership and also do the events, but actually the three of us there do all of it, so I can't take all the credit. But a lot of people they think that we're just a membership. We're just here to ask you to send you an invoice and you pay it. But to me, we're a lot more. We're very involved in the county, in the community, and we're very involved with the school. So 2 things I wanted to point on that a lot of people just don't know. We are, Chamber, we are here to help your business. We're here to grow your business. We're here to connect you with other businesses and different, organizations or things within the county. But I look at it that we are so involved with the school systems. We have different things that we do there. We have leadership walk, we have adult class and the youth class. And I'll talk about that just a little bit more. But we do a lot with nonprofits. So we actually have a nonprofit, membership. And the more, I've been with the chamber 8 years, and I go to the partnership, which a lot of y'all know Dina Huff, and I go to their meetings. And at first Terry was like, you think it's going to be? I said, I think there's a lot of nonprofits there that could really use our services that we have, and by making those connections. Because I know with any nonprofit, you're all about trying to get your fundraising, you're trying to get those sponsors, and so is everybody else in the community. But what better way than us to be able to connect you? Because it may be that Keith may know everybody in the county, but he may not have that certain one. That's like, hey, how can you get me into this door or whatever. We don't guarantee you that you're going to be able to talk to everybody you want to, but we can definitely, help, open that field up for you. So I'm going to talk about the different, with the organizations we have. I went and pulled the numbers. So we have 32 community nonprofit. We also have like the churches, and there's I think 9 of those. But out of those 32, more and more of them are starting to get more involved because they see, and I know 4 of them I have met at the partnership with Dina, and letting them know, not just because we have the membership, but how we can, because they're always either needing to fundraise or they're trying to get the word out about what they do and what their services are. So, if you're in a crowd of 5 people at one meeting, but if you could go to a luncheon where you're in a mixture of people, and we average probably 100, 105 with COVID, you never know. At our, luncheons there, that's a whole different, rim of people you're going to be able to talk to. Same way with we have Coffee Connections, the networking group. Getting that's something they may not be able ever to have came to before unless they've gotten involved with the chamber. And so I've talked to several people. We just had a new member meeting, I think it was about a week ago, and 3 of the nonprofits were there. They were talking about the connections they've already made just being within the chamber, and how they've talking to several of them are just letting them know that the services they offer and want to be able to get into the doors of the hospitals, let them know, hey, we offer this. Or some of the nursing homes, what they can do for them. And I just think we kind of help pave that map to connect them there. So I definitely think that it's something with any nonprofit. Being a chamber member, it may not every business needs to be a chamber member, but I really think with nonprofits we can definitely help you increase. Y'all do golf tournaments. We were just talking about that. You do a 5K. You've done what's that? The pancake supper. So every time with that, you're always looking for sponsors. Well, who better to go to than all these other businesses that you're going to start rubbing elbows with, and being able to talk to them and to help to grow. Have y'all ever heard of our Walton Forward? I know some have, some haven't. So that's our nonprofit that we actually have with the chamber. So a lot of our funds for our all events we do within the chamber help with our, I've mentioned the Leadership Walton, the adult class, and the youth class. But we have several, I left my glasses over there, but I've got it. So we have Reality Check. Reality Check is probably one of my favorite part of my jobs. Before COVID, and that's weird that we always have to say pre-COVID, but before COVID, we would go into the all middle schools. We go into the 8th grade public and private schools, and we would set up a scenario, and it's kind of like the game of life. And we have different chamber members from different businesses, so anywhere from, I think Gail's done it before at the bank, we have some like the hospital, we have realtors, and we're setting it up so the students all come in, they have no idea what jobs they're going to get. They're given a piece of paper. It has their occupation, it has their salary, it has if they're married with kids, married without kids, single with kids, or just plain old single with no kids. And the year my son, he is going to his 3rd year at Georgia Tech. And when he came in his 8th grade year, I told Terry, I said, can we please stick him with, because he's just rotten. I love him, but he's rotten. I said, can we just stick him with a hard one? So we gave him, he was a hostess at a restaurant with a single with 2 kids. And he's sitting here looking at this, and he's like, how am I supposed to do this? Because they've got to go purchase a house or an apartment. They have to have transportation, because Walton County, because it's based on like if you're here in Walton County, we don't have buses or anything like that. So he had to figure out how he was going to make his money last, and he had to go get with the kids. He had to have child care. And it was absolutely hilarious as a mom watching him. And he first, next thing I know, I see his principal doubled over because she's dying laughing because he had asked could he sell his kidney because he had heard about it on the internet because he ran out of money. So of course I'm sitting here, but when he got home that night, it hit him. And what's so cool is we would see how many different students that it would, that it hit home with them, or they had no idea. They had no idea what a cell phone cost. Until they got to see, that's what, my mom and dad paid this much for us to have a cell phone. And we're like, yep. Or if they're in a private school, my mom and dad paid this much. So it really opened their eyes to what life is. Now, we all joke about and saying, I know my oldest son, he's 25, they need to go through it. There's a lot of adults I know that need to go through. So everybody's like, can y'all do reality check for the older people? So I don't think we'll do that anytime soon. But it is something great. But there was my brother. He doesn't work for the chamber. He doesn't, that's all he knew. Until his son came home and said, what is this reality check that you just did with my son? I'm like, wow, what's wrong? He goes, well, every time we go into a room, he's behind us cutting off a light. Or he's over there, do you know how much, eat that food, do you know how much that just costs mom and dad? And I'm like, oh, so it does kind of sink in. So it's cool to know that there's, I hate it that not everybody knows that we're not just a membership. We're not just there, hey, join the chamber. We want to, we have the listing, you're in a directory. There's so much more that we do. We put on the Star Banquet. That's the students within all the high schools with the highest grade point average. That is a great event. That's a way you can get involved there too. It's neat to see all these smart students with their academics and all of this, and then they be able to go on to to the state level and stuff like that. So that's another one. We have, of course, the youth leadership. Youth leadership. Is Has anybody had any of their kids go through youth leadership? None?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
My son went through it. I think that helped him tremendously. Do what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that
Those Printer kids.
That was
Those
before me,
Printer
right?
kids.
I'm just kidding. But it teaches them. I know when Presley was going through it, they even did etiquette. Another thing, I'm like, yes, they need etiquette, but it was really things you just don't think about. The leadership, but they've changed it now, because when he went through, it was just a 1-year program. Was y'all's just one, or was it? So now it's 2. It's a junior and their senior year, and they go through, and we have people from UGA that come, and they're teaching them true leadership skills on what to expect when they're fixing to, go out into the real world, and that has made a huge difference. The adult leadership class. How many are graduates of adult? Yay!
I'm current.
You're current, very good. In the class right now. Had fun at the retreat?
Of course.
Okay. We can't talk about the retreat.
We can't talk
We
about
don't
it.
talk about the retreat, because what happens at the
Especially
retreat
sitting
stays.
beside Reliant Homes.
Okay.
Oh, I need to ask Aaron what went down then.
But the adult class, every year, so I'm a graduate of 2012. Every year there's something different, like we want them to go and do I keep begging Terry to do a master class, because there's so much more y'all get to do than we got to do. But when you were there, I mean, the different things you learned, and it's cool to see the different type of people, because when working with the chamber, I've seen so many different members, and I'm like, ooh, how's this one gonna tie in with it? Before you know it, I mean, you've got a family. And I know some of our classes, because they have a contest every year, and I'm trying to think what year is Heather's and all of theirs. That there's
So I'm in Heather.
So Heather,
So
so
we're
the-
19. We actually just have lunch.
yeah, so there, and like at least 15 to 20 of y'all all show up, and it's amazing to see that bond that they have created. Again, making those connections. Listen, I could go on more. I mean, the different things, I can explain how, I want to say why people want to be a part of the chamber. Where I want to try to help you guys as a nonprofit, and anything y'all want to bounce off me, I'm more than welcome to help you. Anytime, if you're needing to go for, talk to a sponsor and stuff, y'all know how to do it, but it's always tough, especially with everybody wanting to do something to try to keep their doors open and different stuff, and it's hard to reach that. Maybe not everybody can give you the dollar, part, that, but they may can, give you water for your races or anything like that. And to me, I know I've learned a lot more the different events we put on just through the chamber. I wouldn't even thought about asking. So that would be my number one thing, is making sure, with any nonprofit ask, you're not going to know until you make that ask. I was taught that, a long time ago. I know there's, with nonprofits, like, well, nonprofit we're trying to get money, we don't want to spend money. Well, like I said, we have a discounted price for it. So we are here to help you in any way we can. We invite y'all to come. You can come to a Coffee and Connection. Coffee and Connections, we alternate between Monroe, Loganville, and Social Circle each month. It's just a good way to see. I always want I want you to come visit first before you can, so you can get an idea. Even though I know a lot of you are members of the chamber already, but those that aren't, and you're wanting y'all to get involved, I think y'all were members several years back. We've changed a lot. We're always trying something new. We're always listening to what you as a chamber member, what they want, and what their needs are. I'm trying to think what else do you have for me? I know there's a couple of questions you said y'all might have.
Okay, so event-wise, like helping us spread the word for
Right.
the local events.
So we have,
emails.
Yeah, so we have all different types. So we try not to overwhelm all of our members with emails, but sometimes we have to. So all the emails, first of all, all the information we have, what is going to be on the online directory or in the magazine, I didn't bring one with me, I'm sorry. We have a printed directory in there. That's just going to be your main information, the contact name, telephone number, and their address. All emails we keep internally. So if anybody calls us and they're wanting a contact, if they want to Gail, if it's on her card, I'm going to give them their email, because to me, if you have it on a business card, it's no problem. So we keep most emails just for us. We try to be selfish with it, but we try not to abuse you guys. But if anything's coming up, we're going to send out with events that we have. But where it comes in for a member, we have an email that goes out on Thursdays. And so we have, I'm trying to think what our last count, I want to say we're right at 700 members. And out of that, we probably have 1,500 representatives. I'm thinking that's about right. So out of all those, we send the mass emails out. And so if you have any information, so y'all just did your 5K.
Just did it.
Just did 5K. So that, we could have gotten that. Y'all could have sent the flyer. We could have put it in the email. And then it goes out through all, have contact, it can go link straight. We can have it go any way you want. It can be emailed back to somebody. It can link right to your website, your Facebook page, any social media, anything you want it to provide, it can link to it. So when it goes out to our chamber members, it comes through, they click, and it'll take them straight to your website or wherever your event page is. Even if this morning we just put one out, somebody else is having a golf tournament, so they have all the information on one part was nothing but about the golf tournament, and the other part was how you can be a sponsor of the golf tournament. So again, there's always ways to do it. We have our social media. Y'all have Facebook, right? And if y'all are keeping it active and stuff, anything you're posting on that, chamber members, they can ask us, hey, do you mind going to our Facebook page and share? We just posted a picture of our 5K. Do you mind going and sharing it? Or you're talking about your next event or pancake supper. Hey, we're trying to get more people to drive to our Facebook. Do you mind going and sharing this? We can share that information. We won't, we only, represent chamber members. I'm trying to think where else. Other than at the lunches, only at the luncheons. The networking is probably going to happen before the luncheon, because once the program starts, it's kind of hard, but you can come in, you have business cards, or if you have a flyer, you can't leave them on the tables, but you can definitely go up and say, Keith, we have this race coming up, I'd love to get you involved. And that's just going to be another group of people that you can hand that information out to. In our lobby, if you haven't had a chance to see our new office, please come by, because we absolutely love it. We have a membership room, and in that, not every member has their business cards or flyers or whatever, because we tell you can bring it on. We have to add another wall, which would be great, but anytime we have anybody that comes in just off the street, moved into town, or they're lost and they're looking for something, before you know it, they're in there picking cards. They may be looking for a plumber, but then before you know it, they're picking somebody, I need insurance, I need a realtor or whatever, so we have that information. Your information can be, in there as well. When people are having their fundraisers, we'll put them on tables, because we do have a good bit of walk-in traffic, but we can put the flyers out on our tables, there inside the office too, and that's just another way to get your, your fundraiser or whatever you're having, out there. Not just speaking about your fundraising, the different things that y'all do, where your money goes as your organization. If you're at this coffee occasion and you're talking, they're going to say, well, tell me exactly what the Kiwanis Club is. That's just let me sit down. Maybe you got a few minutes. And then that way you can tell them what all you do and the different, organizations or, things here in the community that y'all help with. That cover about that? It's just, we would love to have you. I did bring a membership information to kind of go through. And like I said, we have the nonprofit information on there as well. It's, you get a discounted price, but you get the same opportunities to network and come out and get involved. And we always tell people, send different people. It doesn't have to be the same rep. A lot of people think that, oh, it's just me, I can't make it everything. Send a different representative, because that's just going to be more that you're going to be able to be out there in the community.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight. Welcome to Focus. This segment is an opportunity for us to focus on what matters with people, places, and things. I'm your photographer, Daryl Everidge.
Families used to come out and they would take care of graves and they would picnic. After church you'd come out and you'd eat after church and you'd clean the graves and you'd put flowers out, and it was just a traditional thing, and you'd talk about your loved ones that were long gone and you'd tell stories. It was just a tradition, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside. I think people move off. Children move away, they move to other places, and the graves just fall into disrepair, and people forget where their family members are buried. I decided I was going to show my friend Bill Owens a grist mill that I was interested in. And we drove out to see the grist mill, and on the way back, he said, I think you would like to see this cemetery. And so he showed me a cemetery that was right across the street from where I lived, and I could not believe I had lived there for that long and I had never seen it. I was shocked and appalled. And so I saw it, and we looked at it for a few minutes, and I went home and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So a few minutes later, I decided to amble back over, and I walked all the way through it, and I started taking pictures, and then I called him back up and I said, oh, well, look at this, look what I found. And I got so excited about it, and then I said, well, we have to do something. And so then from then on, it was kind of game on. So then I guess it was every other weekend, we were in there cleaning and pulling briars and just working away. Just clearing vines and cleaning gravestones, chopping down trees. And, it's just been a discovery of gravestones and plants, and it's been fun. But meeting people, it's been different people coming out every other weekend. And sometimes it's a good group of people. Sometimes it's no people. It might be a lonely weekend out there, but sometimes it's a bunch of people. It just depends, but you can't give up. You just got to keep at it. I would like to see the cemetery in the name of the city of Monroe, and that's something I really would like to work toward. And I don't want it to be an added expense for the city. I don't think it would be. I just think that it needs to have a place, so that it just never happens again. A caretaker, if you will. So if a tree does fall, that something will be done about it, or if the vines start to grow crazy. And I'd like to keep our stewardship group going. Where we come out. Right now, we're coming out twice a month. I think once everything is as it should be, we can cut back to maybe one time a month just to cut vines, spray a little Roundup if needed, those types of things. But I would like to see it, in the name of a certified entity like the City of Monroe. And I think that it was good that they were placed here to identify it as a cemetery. I think that was a blessing. And as we move forward, I really want to repair all the broken markers, find where all the graves, the probability of all the graves are, and place some type of small marker on all the graves, something that's not going to rot.
I've known about the cemetery for years. I did not know the history of it. I knew it was an African American cemetery, and I knew that it was abandoned, so to speak. And I told her about it, and she had looked at it, and I think about a week or so later we went back over there and we tromped through all the weeds and through everything, and slowly started gathering history on it and figuring out what it was and who was there and what it was all about. And I'd heard so many myths and half-truths, and you just get this local folklore type thing going on within the community, and it was like, well, let's dig into this, and so it was absolutely fascinating. From there, we ended up going to the county courthouse and going through the archive records and seeing how this all came about, and there was a lot of things that people thought or believed that just weren't true, and it's just a wonderful story of how this church came about and how it was founded and how the cemetery came about, and how they moved, and then it was just kind of forgotten for a while. And so it was really nice to uncover this piece of Monroe history that we could just share with everybody. And I've absolutely enjoyed the entire journey.
This past week's been really great because we could finally see the buildings, finally look through all the look over that whole vast expanse and you can see all the way to the other side. And before you would look and it would just be a jumbled mass of plants and you couldn't see anything. And now you can see to the other side. You can see the light. I feel like preservation is of value because it unites all people. This preserves cultural heritage, and I think that that's important. This cultural heritage is important not just for the African American community. I think it's important for blacks, whites, people of all color. I think it's important not just to remember the past, but it's important for people of today, but it's important to people for the future too. We've got to think about, not just ourselves, but for the people of the future. We've got to preserve this for ongoing generations, I think so.
The original thought that's just evolved from the very beginning was, hey, let's just clean this up so people can see it, so someone else can come in here and see what's going on. And from there, that journey has just taken us to learn what this really was and who was really here and the people that were buried there. It's pretty unique, and I still find it fascinating when you can find these graves that we literally are just finding. You're just digging through this forest of underbrush and growth, and you happen upon a grave and you can find someone that's been lost, so to speak. And that in itself is so rewarding, just to find that and discover that.
And if you don't preserve these stories, they're going to disappear, and I think it's important. But I think by preserving these stories, we're helping to create new stories. I mean, don't you think? I think it helps us shape what's to come.
Monroe is probably one of the most unique places, and we have such a rich history, and it goes back and forth. And the more you read into the history of Monroe, the diversity that you have here in this community is quite unique in itself. You can definitely look at the other communities around us, and it's just not the same.
We can do a lot of things with this cemetery. We can preserve this space, but I think we can preserve many more things in this community. And I think not just with this community, I think other communities, can look at this and they can do bigger things in their communities. I think, doing one thing can ripple across other communities. I believe that.
Hi, this is Miss Laura ready to read to you again today. And this is called The Midnight Unicorn. And the author and illustrator is Neil Reed. That means he wrote the story and he drew the pictures. Come read with me. The Midnight Unicorn. Millie heard the jangling of Casper's leash and put down the clay unicorn she was shaping. "Anywhere special you want to go today?" asked Dad. "The park!" Millie cried, her eyes shining with excitement. "Okay," said Dad. "But wouldn't you like to go somewhere else for a change? Aren't you tired of visiting that same stone statue?" Millie shook her head. She couldn't explain it, but the park, and especially that one statue, were the most important things in the world to her. The park was quiet, except for the sound of dry leaves crunching under their feet as Millie led the way down the path. "Almost there, almost there," The quick rhythm of her feet seemed to say. One more bend in the path, and there it was, a small stone unicorn, molted with age and weather, slightly mossy around its hooves. We can't stay too long, Millie, said Dad. I'll be right over there on the bench if you need me. Millie ran her fingers over the unicorn's closed eyes and gentle mouth. It had the kindest, wisest smile, and she always felt happy when she was nearby. It's only been a week since I was here, but I've missed you so much, she whispered, stretching on tiptoe to be closer to the unicorn's ear. As Millie pressed her hands against the statue's graceful neck, she felt the stone shiver. Suddenly, the unicorn's hooves lifted off the ground, and he pranced beside her. "You're alive?" she gasped, feeling surprised but not afraid. The unicorn pressed his nose softly against Millie's cheek and then bent his magnificent head so she could climb onto his back. The ground fell away beneath them as he sprang into the sky. Casper bounded after them, barking with joy as his paws left the pavement. Up and up they flew, high over the park and Millie's neighborhood. She kept her eyes shut tight against the rush of wind, and when she opened them, she was amazed to see a bright full moon, a sky suddenly full of stars, and lights twinkling in all the houses below. The town clock struck midnight. As Millie and the unicorn flew over the hills and forests and lakes, dark clouds gathered around them and thunder boomed. "Storm up ahead! We'll have to fly fast to beat it," Millie called out. The unicorn put his head down and charged through the angry clouds. Rain rushed into Millie's face. She could hear Casper whimpering as he galloped close behind them, trying to keep up. "Don't be afraid, Casper," she cried. "We've almost made it." As they blasted through the last bank of clouds, Millie cheered and patted the unicorn's strong neck. He swooped down low over the tops of glistening moonlit mountains so she could run her fingers through the snow. "It's beautiful here," said Millie, "but could we find somewhere warmer now?" The unicorn whinnied softly, and in no time at all they were gliding through the warm desert night. Millie waved at the sleepy camels far below on the shimmering red sand dunes. "I've never seen the ocean," Millie told the unicorn. "Could we go there too?" The unicorn turned sharply, and soon they were gliding over a sparkling sea. Waves rolled and crashed along the beach, and when Millie looked closely, she could see that there were other unicorns prancing in the foam. The unicorn spiraled down, 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 right into the breakers. Millie laughed as they bucked through the salty spray, racing the others. Casper was panting and falling behind, so Millie gently pulled on the unicorn's mane. He climbed easily into the air and landed on a rainbow where Casper could rest. All alone in the dark sea below them was an island. It was lit by a shaft of golden daylight at the end of the rainbow, and Millie saw that a herd of unicorns waited on the beach. One by one, the unicorns welcomed Millie, nuzzling her neck with their velvety noses. When she had said hello to all of them, her unicorn led her to rocky paths she could explore and crystal clear streams she could drink from. Butterflies and the scent of flowers filled the air. At last, exhausted by all their adventures, Millie, Casper, and the unicorn lay down on the soft grass. Butterfly wings fanned them into a deep, calm sleep. "Wake up, sweetheart, it's time to go home." Millie opened her eyes and looked up at her father. "Were you worried about me, Dad? I was gone all night. The unicorn took me to see the mountains and the desert and the ocean, and..." Dad gave her a hug. "You have a wonderful imagination, Millie, but it was real," she started to say, and then stopped herself. She and Casper and the unicorn knew the truth, and that was all that mattered. "Ready to go now?" asked Dad. "Almost," said Millie. She stood beside the statue and kissed its smooth forehead. "Thank you, my midnight unicorn," she whispered. And as she turned to follow her father down the path, Millie was sure she heard the unicorn whining a soft goodbye. The end.